I'm Anime Dan. Welcome to What the Fuck? Let's talk about some crazy Silver Age comic book stories. Superman, I'm looking at you. You're not off the hook yet. Today's episode is going to be about the Silver Age World's Finest, issues 186 and 187. We're going to span the stories The Bat Witch, That Old Bat Magic, Trial and Treachery, and The Demon Superman. So, that old bat magic, you know it's going to be a good one right off the bat. To start with, Bruce Wayne has received an anonymous gift. Someone has donated a bust, a statue, to Wayne Manor. Supposedly, it's of his ancestor, Anthony Wayne, from Colonial times. Unfortunately, while it's being inspected, this bust is smashed into pieces. And after being smashed, if you're, a billionaire, a millionaire like Bruce Wayne at the time, you have all the resources in the world, the first thing you're going to do is call Superman to come over to your house and fix it so you don't have to waste your valuable time. Superman has zero going on, so he zips right over. Hey, thanks for calling me. I'm glad to be included. He zips right over and uses his super brain, his super speed to put all the pieces back together really, really fast. Boom. Bust is fixed. Or is it? Because now the bust looks like Batman? What could have gone wrong? A second ago, the bust looked like Anthony Wayne, and then after being smashed into 1,000 pieces and put back together in seconds, it looks totally different. What? The only way the team, Bats and Soups, are going to solve this mystery by time traveling back to colonial America and asking the person who made the bust. Time travel, time out. Just do a quick Google search for the time barrier. It allowed you to break the barriers of time. And the first thing that happens is they meet Anthony Wayne. Unfortunately, he thinks that they're redcoats or traitors or something, and they get into a scuffle. Right off the bat, things aren't going well. Anthony gets out of there. These guys manage to hide their secret identities. All's well that ends well to start with. Number 2. The gang, Bats and Soups, find a river, and in it is a woman drowning. They go to rescue her. She's been put on witch trial and was tied to a stool and pushed into the river to drown. Superman flies underwater to save her and keeps her afloat. Batman swims out to the middle of the river and keeps her calm, and they get her to shore. And Batman pulls off his mask, revealing his billionaire playboy face. And the woman is quite smitten and gives him a little peck and everything, which Batman has a really creepy thought about. But Superman gets pretty upset. He's way jealous, weirdly jealous that Batman is getting all the attention for the hard work Superman did. And then Batman takes the woman, her name is Sylvia, he takes her to the local bar. And while he's there, Superman cooks up a plan. Superman's plan is to don the costume of Batman. So now he looks like Batman. And then go around the town performing little acts and feats with his Kryptonian powers to try and convince people that Bats is a witch. So he just really whips up an angry mob and is very successful. He completely convinces everyone that Batman's a witch. He changes back into his Superman outfit. For some reason, these colonists totally accept these wacky outfits very easily. But anyway, he changes back into his Superman outfit, and then he's leading this mob to get Batman. And they get him, and they put him in the stockade, and he's all locked up, and Batman has no idea. This is not some tandem secret plan they came up with to solve the mystery of the bust. Keep that in mind. It's going to be real easy to forget why we came to colonial America, but they're here to solve a statue mystery. Anyway, the witch trial. Superman has framed Batman for witch trial. The people are all convinced that he's going to be put on trial, to the point where Superman is using his heat vision to light the fire underneath Batman. And Batman is just why are you doing this? And Superman is just yelling about how the demons inside Batman have betrayed him and are lighting his own funeral pyre. but he's using his heat vision to do it. And Batman's like, how can I convince these townspeople that Superman's using his heat vision to trick them into thinking of demons inside of me? And it's like, you got bigger problems, Batman. Holy shit. You are traveling with an insane man who jumps to crazy conclusions. Conclusions like, you need to be put on witch trial because he's jealous of a kiss, apparently. That's where we're standing right now, story-wise. So, it really seems like there's no point here where Superman's like, hold up, let's stop this. He shows no remorse or regret, and they're just going to let Batman roast. But luckily, a thunderstorm rolls in and puts out the fire, and the thunderstorm dissipates the crowd. And you know who shows up? Benjamin Franklin. That's right. Founding father of America. You could tell that the DC writers were all in a little room. They were making this issue, and they were brainstorming. And someone's like, "Okay, guys, we need colonial America things. Go, hit me." And someone's like, "Oh, the flag with a circle of stars." Like, got it? Okay, American flag. The pointy hats. 3 pointy hats. Okay, we got a 3 pointy hat over here. Horses. Someone riding a horse. Okay, a horse. Great. And then someone's like, Ben Franklin, and everyone's like, "Oh, good name. Ben Franklin's going on the board." And I guess he got the most votes because Benjamin Franklin walks up and he's like, "Hey, I've got a list of signatures from all the founding fathers who signed the Declaration of Independence, and it says we don't like you burning Batman as a witch, so stop it." And people generally, like the rain and all that, they stop and they leave. And so he says, "Hey, I'm Ben Franklin. I don't believe in witchcraft, so obviously you're innocent. I'm going to do an experiment to get you out of here." And of course, we all know Ben Franklin only did one experiment ever, and he's going to use his electric kite to zap the shackles off of Batman. So he ties like the string to the lock in like the stockade thing, and then flies the kite up to try and zap the bars open, to try and shock the lock open. He's a smart guy. Ben Franklin's really smart. He invented a lot of stuff. I'm going to let him know that. I'm not even going to try and figure it out because that's way beyond me. The dude invented electricity, okay? And the post office. Let him do him. It doesn't work, though, because Supes fucks the whole thing up. So Superman fucks up the kite experiment. Ben Franklin leaves. Batman's still on witch trial. He hasn't stopped being on witch trial. In fact, now that it's sunny again, they're going to try it over. They get everyone together, and it's looking bad. He's going to burn him up again. And the only thing that stops them is Batman has a quick thought and says, "Try to cut his hair. Cut Superman's hair." And they, at this point, I don't think anyone would listen to what Batman had to say. But they're like, "Why not? Let's just do it because he asked us to." And they go to try and cut the Man of Steel's hair, and they can't. He's got invincible hair. It's much stronger than any scissors that they can bring to bear, any knives or anything. Superman's pissed that his plan fell apart, so he flies off to join the British Army. Literally, he goes to join the Redcoats and sign up to fight for the British forces. Keep that in mind, that while we are discussing what happens next in the story, Superman is joining the Redcoats right now. Batman gets freed from the stake and the stocks and the witch trial, and he meets up with Sylvia. And Batman's first order of business is to solve this damn statue mystery, because his priceless bust got smashed, and now it just looks like Batman. And he has 1 million busts of Batman already, and he wanted a bust of Anthony Wayne. So he's going to ignore Superman joining the British forces and maybe rewriting the entire timeline of America because the British forces would now have the Man of Steel. And instead it's going to focus on solving the mystery that brought us to colonial America in the first place. And while I can't really fault him on his focus there, maybe prioritizing would have been a good idea. It'll all work out, I'm sure. Superman is trying to join the British forces and succeeds, and his first task is to capture Anthony Wayne for treason and bring him back to the British camp. Batman and Sylvia at the same time are tracking Wayne down to solve the statue mystery. So Batman and Sylvia are in Wayne's tent when Superman scoops the whole tent up and flies it back to the British encampment. So now we got all the characters back together again, and in Superman's mind, he's planning to have Anthony and Bats fight each other to the death. To the death! And he's all in for the British side, and it's crazy. And then right when you think things are going downhill, not that they haven't already been fucking rocketing downhill since we time travel back to colonial America, but now Robin with a Y, that's like a... Oh geez, spelling a Y is much harder with my hands in midair than I thought. Robin with a Y comes in, and that's Colonial Robin, just so you know. He's like the ancestor of Robin. Colonial Robin shows up, and this kind of like twists the fight in the favor of Anthony and Bats. And at one point, Batman pulls a rock of green kryptonite from his bat belt, gives it to Robin with a Y, who uses it to weaken Superman. Oh no! And once Superman is weakened, he gets back up, and he's come to his senses. Superman decides to fight the Brits off and gets him out of here, and he doesn't want to put Batman on witch trial anymore, and he's okay. And naturally, people are wondering why. And the explanation for why is the stupidest, most out of left field thing I've ever heard. So when they first met Anthony Wayne, Superman notices that he's not casting a shadow. And to him, Superman knows now that if you're not casting a shadow, you clearly are possessed by an Afreet, or a harmful demon spirit. So Anthony's got a harmful demon spirit inside of him. And then when they went to rescue the woman, Sylvia, Batman got all possessed by an evil demon spirit. And the only way Superman can get the demon spirit out of Bats is by putting him on witch trial, so the spirit will be afraid to be burned and will leave his body. And he says that, oh, don't worry, you were totally safe. I would have stopped the witch trial at any time. But unfortunately, his plan worked, and the demon then possessed Superman, which is why Superman got all upset when Batman didn't get burned, and why he flied away to join the British forces and all that. So it was just a demon. And then when the green kryptonite weakened Superman, it also banished the demon from inside of him. So that was it. It was just demons, guys, the whole time. Batman was possessed by a demon, Anthony Wayne was possessed by the demon, Superman was possessed by the demon. They never show the Afreet or the demon. It's not like a named character or a character's influence. It was literally just this terrible Deus Ex Machina to explain a crazy romp through colonial times. We jammed Ben Franklin and the lightning kite in there. We had redcoats, we had colonists, we had the signers of the Declaration of Independence protesting witch trials. You know, and then why were they there? It was a demon the whole time. So that really wraps up this episode of What the Fuck. I hope you enjoyed seeing issues 186 and 187 of World's Finest broken down, and we explored the sillier elements of those. As always, make sure to subscribe to the Den of Nerds if you haven't already, like this video, leave a comment, and share it with all your cool friends. Someone wants to know the mystery of the bust. Thanks for staying. Well, the bust was made by Sylvia for Anthony Wayne, but then after this incident, she wanted to make it for Batman. So the adventure was the reason for the adventure itself.